I want to go back to the 2010s, back to my favorite decade of music. There were so many amazing albums, so many amazing projects that dropped, and I wanted to share with you my favorites. Let's not dilly-dally and waste more time. Here are my... I get those goosebumps every time. This is Future's best project. A lot of these songs sound so complete and groundbreaking for the trap scene. It's Jay-Z's unofficial swan song. Literally every song hits hard except for Moonlight. Joey Badass brings back old school 90s boom bap on his debut mixtape, and the results are absolutely phenomenal. So many cute and adorable bangers on Caro Bonito's electronic sounding album Time and Place. J. Cole takes us on a nostalgic journey on his best album 2014 Forest Hills Drive. My favorite songs include Love Yours, January 28th, and this might be a hot take, but I think Hello is the third best song on the album. Drake delivers a gorgeous and bountiful rap album with Nothing Was the Same. There's only 3 skips on it, that being Own It, Connect, and 305 to My City. The rest of it is fantastic. A$AP Rocky's 2 previous projects might be more consistent, but for some reason, I just love the psychedelic nature of this one a lot more. You know, to drop a dark, menacing concept album with 3 different acts is such an ambitious achievement for Denzel Curry. Every single song hits hard. There was a simple time in my life where this trilogy was all I listened to. I still have so many fond memories of this entire Saturation trilogy. Frank Ocean's Channel Orange is an iconic R&B album. Even though I do love a few tracks on the first half, that run from Pyramids to Forrest Gump is flawless. Otherwise, this album would not have made this list. One of the most creative and artsy pop albums of the past decade. The only 2 skips are the last 2 songs. Everything else is a lot of fun. What I love about Section 80 is that there's a wide variety of soundscapes. It can be conscious or hard-hitting. Some songs have a catchy pop element to it, and other songs have this chill, relaxing vibe. Mac Miller's musical therapy session sounds so lovely and compassionate. Self-Care is in my top 10 songs of all time. There's something so beautiful about Bon Iver fusing together electronic music with folk music in this very experimental fashion. Whenever Kid Cudi drops a Man on the Moon album, you know it's going to be a heartwarming, intergalactic joyride. This is The Weeknd's most ambitious and extravagant sounding album. My 2 favorite songs are Wanderlust and Love in the Sky. It's psychedelic rock at its finest, and I even love the concept behind the album, that feeling of being alone, not necessarily fitting in with the crowd. It's even depicted by the album cover. This is just pure, fun pop rock that feels like going on a relaxing vacation, and the songs here are so incredibly catchy and exciting. The best songs are the first 2 tracks, and also Do You Wanna Get High? A depressing and somber concept album told backwards by The Roots is number 32, and yeah, I have to say, this album is mind-blowing. Beach House showcased their best dream pop songs on Bloom. The progressions and the build-up are all beautiful. Frank Ocean's collection of nostalgic sounding songs is flawless. My favorite song would have to be Strawberry Swing. You definitely have to check out Passion Pit's Gossamer. Every song is bright, glittery, and catchy. I think the album really picks up the pace on the second half from track 6 to 12, but the entire experience is mesmerizing. This is experimental, artistic rap music done right. The production intentionally sounds dusty, a bit rough, but it perfectly fits Earl Sweatshirt's abstract style of rapping. One of my personal favorite pop albums of all time is Anti-Socialites by Always. It's a brief, 30-minute album, but every song sounds dreamy and catchy and euphoric. And speaking of dreamy and catchy and euphoric, the number 26 album is Why Is Blood with Titanic Rising. If you want to hear what beautiful, sad SpongeBob music sounds like, go listen to this album. It's a national shame that this album overall didn't have the mainstream appeal that a Call Me Maybe had. To me, it's comfort pop music, a nice mix of the retro and the modern. Beer Bongs and Bentleys is a masterpiece. I pretty much at least like every song on here. My favorites are Paranoid, Rich and Sad, Better Now, Stay, Candy Paint is great, 92 Explorer, oh, and of course, Spoil My Night. Big Crit comes through with a hard-hitting double album with that twangy, hip-hop, southern flair. Really have to commend the cinematic production, and also Big Crit's very animated and energetic flow. The title of this album fits really well because the soundscape sounds very floral, and it feels like springtime when all the warmth and nature comes blossoming back. Joey Badass is operating at the highest level on every aspect, The message is powerful, the flows are smooth, the production can be chill and vibrant and hard-hitting. The features are all on point. Again, it's pure soul food. Whenever Freddie Gibbs and Madlib team up, you know you're about to get a hip-hop classic. The production on Bandana is something truly special. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib have impeccable chemistry together as a rapper-producer duo. You know, Daniel Caesar dropped 3 albums since Frank Ocean released Blonde, and you know what? If Frank is not going to drop new music, at least we have Daniel Caesar. Freudian is a beautiful, lavish showcase of his talent, and I love every moment of it. Travis Scott's Rodeo is the best trap album of all time. This is like Kanye level of album curation. The songs are so dynamic and creative. It's like a high-end art piece for the masses. Yeezus is the blueprint for so many aggressive, industrial, modern rap albums, aka Travis Scott's Rodeo, or even Utopia, and a lot more. At one point in my life, this album was all I listened to. Every day, I would listen to on site, and then I just have to listen to the entire album front to back. And on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, we have Casey Musgraves' Golden Hour. It's a beautiful marriage of country and pop music that literally every human will enjoy, except for Fantano for some reason. Pusha T brings the heat on Daytona. It's literally 7 tracks of pure cocaine rap, and it's the best thing ever. Honestly, I can see myself enjoying the album even more in the future when I myself start doing cocaine. 2018 could be Kanye's strongest year when it comes to dropping quality music, and his solo album Ye really goes underappreciated in his discography. It's Kanye West stripped back at his most vulnerable and honest. I'll have to give the pop album of the decade title to Lord with Melodrama. Besides Sober, which I think is still decent, every other song is great to perfect. The album sequencing is brilliant as well. Melodrama plays out as a breakup album. And speaking of breakup albums, Tyler the Creator's Igor is the male equivalent. And also number 12. This entire project sounds unique and creative, conceptually, sonically, lyrically. It's a perfect album. Favorite song is easily A Boy's a Gun, which uses the same sample as Kanye's Bound To. Speaking of Kanye, at number 11 we have The Life of Pablo, the only album that feels and sounds messy, but somehow it translated into a masterpiece. Favorite songs include Saint Pablo, which is just perfect. You also got No More Parties, Father Stretch My Hands, Famous. Here we are, the top 10, and we got Plastic Beach by Gorillaz. I call it the dystopian end of the world album, but strangely, it's also quite gorgeous, colorful, and cinematic. My favorite songs would have to be Empire Ants, obviously, Melancholy Hill, Plastic Beach, Stylo, and of course, Superfast, Jellyfish. Yes, Kids See Ghosts is number 9. I had to include it at least top 10. Kanye and Kid Cudi bring impressive vocals, song concepts, an amazing mix of bravado and vulnerability. My favorites are all of them. Number 8 is Freddie Gibbs and Madlib again on an even better album, Pinata. This album is gangster rap at its finest, thanks due to the immense talent and chemistry from Freddie and Madlib. Best song is going to Thuggin', but they're all top tier. Tame Impala juices up the psychedelic vibes with steroids on his masterpiece, Currents. I gotta say, this album was mind-blowing on impact and still is to this day. My favorite songs have to be Let It Happen, The Moment, Yes I'm Changing, Eventually, and Less I Know the Better. If you haven't listened to Sufjan Stevens' Carrie and Lowell, you gotta treat yourself to some grade A depression. This album sounds so delicate and heartfelt. Visually imagine you're walking on snow for the first time on a quiet winter day at a cold winter cabin. The best songs are easily the first 2 tracks, but 4th of July is just pure beauty. Daft Punk's exceptional electronic dance album is number 5. Random Access Memories has this gorgeous combination of older jazz instrumentals and futuristic electronic production. Out of every album on this list, this one sounds the most cinematic. And number 4, it's Frank Ocean's Blonde. This guy wrote the most poetic and depressing album, and they made all of it sound so heavenly. Favorite songs are Ivy, Pink and White, Solo, Self-Control, Nights, and of course, the best one, White Ferrari. To Pimp a Butterfly is number 3 on my list, and yes, this album deserves all the love and praise. I know this top 5 is playing out to be very predictable, but sometimes the predictable answer is the correct one. T-Pap pushes the boundaries of what a rap album can be. Sonically, it's rich, beautiful, and lavish. Conceptually, it's nothing like I've heard before, and performance-wise, Kendrick Lamar goes above and beyond with every single song. And guess what? It's back-to-back Kendrick, because number 2 is Good Kid, Mad City. I love the album's overall message of breaking out of a dangerous generational cycle and trying to become the best, most genuine version of yourself. Okay, top 5 songs are, of course, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, Money Trees, Mad City, and 2 extremely underrated Kendrick songs, The Art of Peer Pressure and Good Kid. I know it's such a cliche answer and it's universally loved, but this really is my favorite album of the 2010s decade. It's an enormous celebration of Kanye's excessive lifestyle, which may look fun and luxurious from the outside, but once you're in that world, you realize ultimately it's an emotionally unsatisfying experience as you gradually witness Kanye's fall from grandiosity to obscurity. Hearing this album front to back for the first time is an experience I'll never forget. And that concludes today's video. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite albums of the past decade were. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.